I'm super excited to be here in Southampton because I live in London, so it's quite nice to be somewhere where the air isn't as solid. Anyway, science. Do you know what I hate about science? It's just really hard. At least I find it hard. I'm a PhD student and I'm not a very good one. Specifically, I'm a geomicrobiologist. Now, as a geomicrobiologist, in theory, I should be an expert in both geology and microbiology. In reality, I'm not even vaguely competent in either. I'm so bad at science, in fact, that I started to view it as a public service I provide for other PhD students. Well, I've blown up the lab and cost £8,000 worth of damage, but at least I'm not Sarah Jones. So. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot recently about the reasons why I struggle with science, and I've come to some conclusions on the things that I think are making it difficult for me. Okay, so, in general, I like to follow rules. I'm a rule follower. And if someone with even a vague semblance of authority tells me to do something, I'm probably going to do it. But there's one person whose instructions I just can't bring myself to follow, whose authority I just cannot fucking abide. And that person is me. What right do I have to tell me what to do? Who put me in charge anyway? I know me, I'm not qualified for the position. So whenever I tell myself to do something, I just do the complete opposite, just to piss myself off. So yesterday, I told myself, right, you're going on a diet. In retaliation, I had 2 dinners. So you can imagine what it's like when I try and tell myself to read a paper or to write my methodology section. I'll do literally anything but that. So one of the problems I have with science is that I can't convince myself to concentrate. Now, one of the times this is particularly acute is when you have to go to a conference or some other sort of hellish event where not only do you have to listen to other people talk about their research, which, let's face it, is the academic equivalent of looking at pictures of people's kids. Aww, that's a lovely research niche. I've made better life choices than you. Not only do you have to listen to them talk about their research, but it's like they have to do it in a way where any semblance of interestingness has been surgically removed. So I don't get on well with conferences, because you have to pay attention, which I can't, and you have to understand what's going on, which I never do. And I always end up feeling a little bit like I've just wandered in from the pub, which I might have done, to be fair. But some people do seem to understand what's going on. No, wait, hang on. That's the line that came before. Oh, no. Never mind. Anyway, let's carry on. So what you can do, so that people don't discover that you're actually just an undercover pleb, you can pick a talk to be interested in and go up and congratulate the speaker of that talk. Oh, hi Peter, yeah, great talk, really enjoyed. I have no idea what Peter's talk is about. I didn't understand 3 of the words in the first sentence, and I stopped listening. But to be honest, I'm never listening. When people get to the end of their talk, and they're like, and that summarizes my main conclusions, any questions? No! Of course I don't have any questions. Like any sane human being, I spent the entirety of your talk working out whether and where you'd rank on my list of scientists I'd have sex with. Incidentally, if anyone wants to be considered for my sylphs list, feel free to give me a picture of yourself. Cold picture of yourself. Yeah, so anyway, I don't get on well with conferences, and I think part of the reason that conferences are difficult is that most science is, let's face it, boring. Now, I'm not just like casting shade on anyone else's work here. What I study is acidophilic bacteria that live on sulfide minerals.
Yeah!
Fans of geomicrobiology. Yeah, that's bacteria that live on rocks, and pretty much nobody gives a flying fuck about that. But even if you study something that the outside world might be interested in, like penis bones or whatever, day in, day out, science isn't very exciting. There's tick boxes to fill and methodology to refine and Python to be shouted at. Even those penis bone people probably have to make like a penis pivot table or something sometime. So the problem is, science isn't how it appears from the outside. Before you get involved with science, it's really sexy, isn't it? So I'll wear a nice underwear and has shaved his legs. At the start, science is like, hey, do you like facts? And you're like, oh yeah, I love facts. And science is like, well, why not become a scientist and you can discover all the facts. This is my sexy voice, by the way, and, in case anyone's considering me for their sales list. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go all the way with science. So you jump into a relationship with science, but pretty soon something doesn't feel quite right. You wanted to get straight to discovering some sexy facts, but science has been really weird and it's making you read about all the facts it did with all of its exes. Ones with you, but it's okay, you get to do experiments together, although you always end up seeming to do all of the washing up. But it's okay, you generated data. Maybe now you can get to doing some facts. No. Turns out, science is really disorganized. So before you can even think of doing some facts, you've got to make spreadsheets and sort all of its files out, and you're starting to get exasperated. You're putting in all the effort, and you're not getting anything back in return. What did you ever see in science anyway? Maybe you guys should break up. All the passion's gone. It used to be PCR and chill, and now it's just PCR. And in a fit of frustration, you end up having a guilty wank over science's best friend, geography. No, geography could never satisfy you the same way science can. It's just so easygoing and relaxed, and has really great arms from all that vigorous colouring in. And just as you're about to get up on science, you have the most incredible day together, and you know you can't ever break up with science because you love it. Guys, the point I'm trying to make with this really fucking weird relationship metaphor is that science is really hard, but as long as you only post on Instagram pictures of how happy you are together, then everyone will think that your life is awesome and be jealous of you, and that's the most important thing. Anyway, that summarizes my main conclusions. Any questions?